Chicago Cubs baseball on WGN. Brought to you by Bud Light. For the great taste that won't fill you up and never lets you down, make it a Bud Light. The Discover Card, the card that pays you back with a cashback bonus award. AutoZone, the best parts in auto parts. Pepsi, Generation Next. ComEd, the official electric company of the Chicago Cubs. ComEd, what do you do with your power? And by Southwest Airlines, offering low fares and frequent flights. Southwest Airlines, the official airline of the Chicago Cubs.
On 7th Heavens.
See the friendly Dodge dealer near you.
Hey, Cubs fans, with summer road construction, public transportation is a quick, convenient way to get you to the game. Take the train or the bus, and the CTA takes you right to the gates of Wrigley Field. And remember, if you do drive, come early. Enjoy batting practice and take advantage of the early bird discount. Some fans think they know all there is to know about the Cubs. Then they read Vineline. Vineline, the Cubs' monthly newspaper, makes a great gift for any occasion. Subscription rates start at just $19.95, and all new subscribers receive a free gift. To order, call 773-404-CUBS.
It's a beautiful day at the ballpark here at the friendly confines of Wrigley Field. Another extra-large crowd gathering for Game 1 of the three-game weekend series between the Cubs and the Colorado Rockies. The Rockies, one of the big disappointments this season in the National League, Steve. They signed Darryl Kyle in the offseason. A lot of folks thought they were going to be very good out west, but the defections of Andres Galarraga and Walt Weiss really have hurt this team, especially on the road. They have not been a good team at all away from Coors Field.
They never really have been a good road team. The surprising thing is they got off to such a terrible start at home, and now they find themselves an even 500. However, as you can see, the usual disparity of batting average at home and away. The Rockies have had a tough year, and you wonder, with the trading deadline just a few scant hours away, if the Rockies will indeed try to unload Ellis Burks. Now, a lot of rumblings about Don Baylor, about Bob Gebhardt, and here's a guy just removed from getting the team in the playoffs, and I'm talking about both Baylor and Gebhardt in the third year of their existence, and this truly is a what have you done for me lately type of game.
And lately, the Rockies, at least this season, haven't done a whole lot. They're the best hitting team in the National League, but continue to have all kinds of terrible pitching problems. In fact, only the White Sox have a higher earned run average in Major League Baseball than the Colorado Rockies, and that includes two expansion teams. So Sammy Sosa, coming off a rockin' road trip in Arizona, races out to right field, and here is that Colorado lineup. Mayfi Perez, who hit for the cycle last Saturday, leads it off. Then Ellis Burks, who's rumored to be on the block in center field. Larry Walker in right. 4 home runs in his last 7 games. Dante Bichette on the trade block. Vinny Castilla can turn around a fastball with the best of them. Todd Helton, a Rookie of the Year candidate at first. Mike Lansing, a disappointment at second. Reed, the catcher, and Jamey Wright, the pitcher, hits ninth.
And the Pepsi defense for Jim Riggleman and the Cubs. Rodriguez, Brown, and Sosa left to right. Alexander, Blauser, Morandini, and Grace in the infield. A battery of Tyler Houston and Kerry Wood, who's been absolutely dominant here at Wrigley Field, looking for his 11th win in this his 20th start. 173 strikeouts in 121 and a third innings. He's second to Kurt Schilling in that department.
He's never faced the Rockies before, and he gets his first look at Colorado today at the friendly confines, and this is the place where Kerry's been dominating. He's trying to win his 8th straight game here. The last Cub to win more than 7 in a row was Kevin Foster, who won 9 straight games for the Cubs at Wrigley Field in August and September of 1996. Our umpiring crew: Ed Montague behind the plate, Mark Wegner, Paul Schreiber, Dana DeMuth is over at third. Time to play ball now, and here is Mayfi Perez.
Perez is one of the reasons they let go of Walt Weiss, because they thought it was time Perez had to play every day at shortstop, and he certainly has come alive. Pretty lofty numbers.
.282 batting average, 8 homers, 38 runs batted in, and the first Wood pitch sails way high for ball 1. 76 degrees. Winds out of the northeast at 12 miles an hour, and something we haven't seen Wood do much of this year. He paws around on that mound. Trying to get that planting area to his liking, and back to work he goes, and it's popped up back toward us and well out of play and out of reach. 1-1.
Perez, a switch hitter, has been very consistent. 284 from the right side, 281 from the left side. He is a hard man to strike out, but that will be put to the test today.
He slaps that ball into left field for a base hit. So Perez aboard to lead off the ball game for Colorado.
Perez doesn't run exceptionally well. He's only stolen 4 bases, been caught 6 times. This is a most unusual Rocky team. Don Baylor, in the early stages of his managerial career, ran as much as he could. This year, they've stolen just 39 bases. They've been caught 39 times. That's got to be one of the worst percentages in all of baseball, right at .500.
So Perez is aboard for Ellis Burks, who's in a 1-for-13 slide. And Wood's first pitch to him misses for a ball. Colorado made a trade yesterday. They sent Greg Colbrin back to Atlanta for a couple of minor league pitchers. Burks shows bunt, takes a ball. 2-0.
Well, you certainly would love to retire Burks ahead of Walker, Bichette, and Castilla, as well as Helton. The middle of this lineup is awfully dangerous. And there's Larry Walker. That batting average up at .340. A lot of people worried about Walker and that elbow early portions of the year. The elbow seems pretty good right now.
The 2-0 pitch hit sharply to short. A flip to second. Low throw. What a dig out by Morandini.
Looked like Jeff Blauser got his spikes caught. That looked like it was going to be 2. Instead, they get 1 as Burks hits the ball awfully hard. Blauser's there, but as you see, almost trips over his own feet and then makes a bad throw. Mickey able to dig it out, and they get the force out.
So Walker will bat with 1 on and 1 out. Walker, the second highest National League batting average at .340. But his power numbers way down. 14 home runs, and he promptly rips that pitch into right field. This team can hit a fastball.
There's no doubt it can hit a fastball, and the next 2 guys up, especially Castilla, deadly on first ball fastball. So from the high scoreboard camera, we'll take a look at Larry Walker, improving on that .340 batting average. So 3 batters, 2 hits. And now you deal with the middle of a very dangerous lineup.
Walker, of course, last year's MVP. He's at first base with 1 out. Dante Bichette, the 4th leading hitter in the league. The Rockies have 3 of the top 9 National League batters in their starting lineup today.
Now Bichette has grounded into 15 double plays. The Rockies as a team have grounded into 95 of them. Vinny Castilla leading the way with 17, and Bichette second with 15.
Well, you remember how big he was in spring training?
I do indeed.
Looks like he's finally slimmed down. That's off the end of his bat foul and out of play. He's listed in the media guide at 6'3", 228 pounds. He was pushing 250, 260, was he not, in spring training?
Supposedly came in around 263, 264, got down pretty well. And right now he looks in pretty good shape, and he is an outstanding hitter and the leading hitter with runners in scoring position.
Runners lead with 1 out. Fastball blew it right by him. 1-2. That's something the Cubs want to see more of from Kerry Wood. Throw that fastball.
This fastball like a rocket right by Dante Bichette. '94 through '98. Bichette at the top of the leaderboard.
Breaking ball hits softly into left. Henry charges in. Blauser charges out, makes the catch, throws back to second. We'll have an inning-ending double play. Burks went wandering, thought it would drop. Blauser made the grab, and that retires the side. No runs, 2 hits, 1 man left. Scoreless after a half inning.
So I guess I'll...
Call 1-800-IT-PAYS-2. Accepted where you see the Novus sign.
No score for the Rockies after a half inning. Here's a look at the Cubs Pepsi lineup. The Cubs at 61-48, still 3.5 games behind the Astros in the Central. Brant Brown leads it off. Mickey Morandini is hitting and playing second. Then it's Sosa, Grace, and Rodriguez. Jeff Blauser, Tyler Houston, Manny Alexander in for Jose Hernandez, whose foot still hurts, and Kerry Wood, the pitcher, hits ninth.
And the defense for Don Baylor and the Rockies: Bichette, Burks, and Walker left to right. Castilla, Perez, Lansing, and Helton in the infield. A battery of Joliet, Jeff Reed, and Jamey Wright. 5 and 9 on for his 23rd start. As you can see, he has struggled with 11 hits per 9 innings.
So Brant Brown, the first man to greet Mr. Wright, who fires a quick strike over, and the last play that retired Colorado.
Jeff Blauser makes the play, and then the double play is easy. A bad base running play on the part of Ellis Burks.
Another strike from Wright.
Well, Jamey Wright has a good sinker, and he throws a slider with it and a straight change.
He has, however, lost 5 of his last 6 decisions. But having said that, the team against which he has had the most major league success, against the Cubs. He's 2-1 with a 2.53 earned run average. So the Cubs better not just dial this one in. The 0-2 pitch. Swing and a miss. Brown strikes out to open up the Cubs first.
Pretty good slider after 3 straight fastballs. And Wright, who has walked 68 while fanning only 53, throws a pretty good pitch there from the Southwest Airlines Plainview camera. We'll take a look at a slider that gets in on the hands of Brant Brown.
And that brings Mickey Morandini to the plate for the first time. Mickey carrying a 7-game hit streak into today's fray. Wind blowing in at 12 miles per hour. And you see the longest hitting streaks. Pat Kelly of the Cardinals. Boy, he's played very well for St. Louis, who continue to be the object of a lot of trade rumors. Those Cardinals may be ready to unload Brian Jordan and or Todd Stottlemyre. Bouncing ball to the shortstop. Nefi Perez sometimes struggles with the routine play, but not that time. And Morandini's retired.
I would think that they would be trading Stottlemyre for sure. His contractual demands rumored to be around $7 million a year. And odds are 50-50 they'll trade Jordan also.
We talked last night about that rumor that a Cub fan had heard about on the Extra Sports Radio Network about a Pat Henkin deal involving the Cubs. I talked with Andy McPhail about that before the game. He said there's nothing to that. But the Cubs are still trying to get something done before the deadline to try to bolster that bullpen a little bit more for the final stretch drive, as Sammy Sosa looks at ball 1 low.
Home runs.
Hit number 41 yesterday to tie Sammy for the big league number 2 spot behind Mark McGwire, who faces off with Greg Maddux tonight.
Good slider by Wright. Cools Sammy for the moment. Wind blowing straight in at 12 miles an hour. It's a delightfully cool day at Wrigley Field. After our 4 days in Arizona, this is summer resort weather. Nary a cloud in the sky.
Yeah, what a difference 35 degrees and 1,700 miles makes. The 1-1. High pop is twisting out of play, foul into the right field seats, and Sammy behind in the count now. 1-2.
Well, quite obviously the Cubs in their bullpen loaded with right-handers. They have the 2 lefties. But you never know what's going to happen in the starting rotation, and so if you add another lefty, that would free up Terry Mulholland if you needed another starter at any given time. If you don't add a lefty to the bullpen, Terry Mulholland almost certainly has to stay down there, because one left-hander makes it a precarious position for Jim Riggleman. That is, of course, if you don't add a starter, and it appears they won't.
3 balls, 2 strikes. Some of the left-handed relievers available: a Randy Myers, a Rincon, a Christensen.
Rincon and Christensen probably the 2 guys to fit the bill. Myers is a closer,
Right.
and he'll be coveted by a lot of teams, one of them possibly Atlanta, along with Jeff Montgomery.
3-2 pitch, swung on, belted into right center field. Burks on the run at the track. He looks up. It's in the basket.
have done a terrific job of keeping the ball in the ballpark. That's only the 11th home run given up in 131 innings. And even into the wind, Sammy hits it out.
42 home runs for Sosa, and into the wind. That ball was really hit hard. Welcome home, Sammy.
Sammy doesn't mind the long flight, and he doesn't mind whichever way the wind is blowing. Watch it again as Sammy gets one out over the plate. He's gone to right field consistently, and he shows you he's strong enough to take it out in any part of the ballpark.
2 balls and a strike. The chase continues. McGuire in Atlanta tonight. Sosa has upped the stakes. He now has 42. Ken Griffey Jr. 41 for Seattle. They're the top 3. But don't count out Greg Vaughn. Don't count out Vinny Castilla. They're in the hunt as well. 3-1 to Mark Grace, and he takes the 3-2 pitch. In there for a full count. 1-0 in favor of the Cubs here in the first. That's fouled down the left side, out of play. Another look at the Sosa blast.
This slider stays about belt high, and Sammy didn't quite know if he got it all, but he got enough of it in the basket. And for Southwest Airlines, how far does it fly? 371 happy feet.
And Grace draws the 2-out walk. Well, how about Sosa? 42 home runs now. He's hit 12 of them to right field.
And a bunch to center field. So not only a pull hitter, and there you see Sammy just 3 in back of McGuire, 1 in front of Griffey.
So 1 in, 1 on, 2 outs, and Henry Rodriguez is the batter. He's hit 25 home runs for the Cubs this year. And he looks at a ball low. Henry fighting it a bit. 3 for his last 25. A close play at first. Grace just did get back. The 1-0. He swung very late, and the count evens at a ball and a strike.
Wright has some problems in the first inning, being a sinker baller. That's usually where you will be vulnerable, the early portions of the ball game.
Inside, 2 balls and a strike. Man, Sammy Sosa hit a rocket into the basket into right field. The 2-1. Swung on. That's rifled toward the left center field gap. Back goes Burks. That ball rockets out of here. Now we are cooking. 3-0. And did you see Henry smile at Lansing as he rounded second? Old teammates in Montreal.
Henry 26 and 71. The Cubs have a 3-run lead, and they've staked Kerry Wood to that early lead, and usually that spells trouble for the opposition.
So 3-0 in favor of the Cubs, and Jeff Blauser, the Cub hitter, fouls the first pitch back.
68 home runs combined between Sammy and Henry.
Well, that's what the Cubs front office was hoping they'd see when they signed Sammy to that big contract and made the trade for Henry, and it's worked out very well. Those 2 men have been very, very productive this year offensively.
And they both did it the way you have to do it, with the wind blowing in. You hit line drives right into the gaps. At the 368, they go out.
Blauser hits a blast into left center field, but that one is going to be caught. Burks puts it away, and the Cubs are satisfied with 3 runs on 2 home runs, 1 by Sammy, 1 by Henry. 3-0 Cubs after 1 here at beautiful Wrigley Field.
Dodge dealer today and get $1,000 cash back on Avenger.
It's 3-0 after one. Henry Rodriguez and Sammy Sosa have hit first inning home runs. And the Cubs enjoying a very happy homecoming, leading Colorado by a score of 3-0. Vinny Castilla will lead it off for Colorado. He's hitting .322, 35 home runs. He and Mark McGwire continue their historic season. That pitch swung on, hit a mile high in the air. Henry back to the track, has just enough room. One down.
We'll take a look at the Henry home run. A tailing fastball out over the plate, and Henry just crushes it into the gap and out of the ballpark, giving the Cubs a 3-run lead. And for Southwest Airlines, how far did it fly? An identical 371 happy feet. Vinny Castilla would have hit that ball out of the park, but it was up well too high, and the wind was able to play tricks with it.
Now Todd Helton. Don't hear too much about this guy being in the Kerry Wood Travis Lee class for the Rookie of the Year award. I don't know if that's fair to this young man. He's having a great year.
Well, for rookies, he's leading the parade in batting average. The RBIs almost exactly even with Travis Lee, and a couple of home runs behind him. And he's got a chance to be a real good one at first base.
And you know, with Colorado, certainly they would have gotten much more production out of Galarraga and Walt Weiss. As Kerry just missed with that one, 2-2. But sometimes I guess you do have to take maybe a baby step backwards so you can make great strides forward in getting Perez and Helton acclimated to the big leagues and find out whether or not they can do it on an everyday basis. And so far they have. High pop. Let's see if the Cubs will have a play. Tyler did, and it's just off the end of his glove. No play.
That's a good effort by Tyler Houston, but as he leaned over the dugout, the ball just trickled out of the glove, so Helton will have another life. Now Tyler's got a shot at this as it spins back toward the field of play, but he has to lean over the rail. It's a tough play to keep your concentration, and he just has it drop out of the glove.
So Helton gets a second life here. The count 2-2. And he hits it a mile high in the air right side. And the wind, however, won't be quite so gracious. And Grace and the Cubs will return to their positions. 2-2 for Todd Helton. Helton, just 24 years old, out of Knoxville, Tennessee. Full count now, 3-2. Helton, of course, a quarterback for the Volunteer football team back in '94. It's a line drive into left that Henry's going to catch. 2 down.
I don't think Kerry has his good stuff right yet, because these Rockies are getting pretty good swings. He has yet to fan a man, but that shows a guy who's learned a few lessons in his 20 major league starts. So far he's been unscored upon, and yet he doesn't seem to have that dominating stuff we associate with Kerry Wood. But it should come to him as he moves along in this one. He usually gets better and stronger as the game does move along.
Mike Lansing, the Colorado hitter. He hits the first pitch into center field. Brown comes charging. Morandini goes out. Mickey dives. Can't make the grab. It pops out of his glove and falls safely for a base hit. What range by Morandini?
With the wind blowing in, the infielders know that they have to go out as far as they can because the ball's going to fall in front of the outfielders. Morandini, with an excellent attempt, just has it trickle out of the glove. And that's the third single of the afternoon for the Rockies.
So Jeff Reed now bats with a runner at first and 2 men out. 276, 7 homers, 24 runs batted in. Cubs have a 3-0 lead. We're in the second. Bouncing ball right side. Easy play, Morandini. He makes it. And Wood escapes the second without much difficulty. No runs, a hit, one left, 3-0 Cubs after 1.5.
On Sister Now, Saturday at 2 on WGN.
Beautiful day at the ballpark. Cubs have hit a couple of big blasts in this ball game. A home run by Sosa, one by Henry. It's 3-0 after 1.5 innings of play. Just dancing around the internet today, reading the Seattle newspaper. Mariners don't seem like they're completely and totally committed to trading Randy Johnson. Of course, that's probably the biggest name out there at the moment on the trade front. As Tyler Houston stands in, the Yankees apparently aren't going to give Seattle a huge package of young players, as Houston grounds out on the first pitch of the second inning and is retired by Lansing.
I'm anxiously looking forward to this evening, but I don't know what I'm going to do without you and your computer as you wend your way west on assignment, of course. How am I going to keep up with the rumors like the Toronto rumor?
Well, Pete Toma, our crack producer, says if you break down and buy him dinner, he'll bring his little clicker and he'll keep you up to date with all the sports.
I'll get him a to-go meal so I don't have to eat with him. Does that count?
I have to ask him. I'm not the intermediary. But the interesting thing in the story in the Seattle Times is that maybe the Atlanta Braves have some interest in Randy Johnson. Manny hits the ball on a line to left, and it's caught by Bichette.
Bichette came in a step, and that line drive was starting to rise. Almost got over his head, but Dante there to make the catch.
Atlanta's interest would be more in Mike Timlin at the moment, apparently. But this reporter says that Atlanta may be tinkering with the idea of getting Randy Johnson to be their closer. Interesting.
How about the Toronto-Cleveland story? That's even more interesting.
Well, apparently Roger Clemens has seen his name sent around as far as trade talks are concerned. If the Indians can't get Randy Johnson, maybe they could focus their attention on Roger Clemens. And a name that may be linked there is David Justice. Toronto needs everyday hitters with some power in that lineup. 0-2 to Wood. It's high, 1 ball, 2 strikes. Of course, it's all speculation. It's just rumor. It's just innuendo. But boy, it sure is fun to talk about, especially the big names that are being talked about at this year's trade deadline.
The thing that makes it a little more interesting this year is there are so many clubs alive in the wild card.
Absolutely. With
legitimate shots to make postseason play, and they might feel that they're 1 or 2 significant deals away from getting right there.
2 balls, 2 strikes to Kerry Wood. Bouncing ball to the right side, took a funny hop, but Lansing handles it, throws to first in time, and the Cubs are retired in order in the second. On we go to the third. Kerry Wood and the Cubs shutting out Colorado 3-0.
What do you do with your power?
Our Discover Card Payback Playback today takes us back to the middle of May in Coors Field when Mark Grace flexed some mile-high muscle with 2 home runs and a 4-for-5 day. Gracie victimized the Rockies' Jerry DiPoto twice for his 3rd career 2-homer game and his 4th 4-hit affair in the big leagues. 2 of Gracie's 7 homers in May, a career high in 1 month. Our Discover Card Payback Playback. Mark Grace hasn't hit a big fly in this ball game, but plenty of chances for him, Steve, to go yard in this one, as Jamey Wright has surrendered 2 of them already in the ball game, and he leads things off here in the 3rd.
I think Mark would be content to go to his base hit stroke today with the wind blowing in. They better suited for the big guys to hit the home runs.
1 ball, 2 strikes to Wright. Why can't Colorado develop pitching?
Very tough place to pitch.
Strike 3 call. There's the first Wood punch out in the game.
That's a called 3rd, and that's number 1. And as we know, if you look at Kerry, as the game moves along and he gets a lot looser and that slider and curveball start to come to him with a little better feeling, that's when the strikeout numbers start to pile up for him.
So Neifi Perez stands in. He slapped a single into left his first time. Now pops the ball back over the roof. That's headed for your card, partner, and out of play. 0-1.
Now my car's on the other side and in very good shape.
This one started today?
At least for the moment. Yes, one of my batteries is working. It's the one in Chicago where the temperatures are a little bit down further.
The 0-1 misses inside. A ball and a strike to young Neifi Perez. Again, he takes a shot at left. He's just trying to put the bat on the ball and put it in play somewhere and hope it finds a hole. That's what happened in the first inning.
Jeff Blauser playing him pretty well right now. He's playing him almost in the hole at shortstop, thinking that if Perez hits a ball on the ground, he's going to slap it that way. Henry in close and left.
That ball pulled foul on the right side now. Hard to believe it, partner. It's already the final day of July.
And that after today, game 110, there's 52 left. Cubs have a 3-game lead in the wild card race, but just one in the loss column over the Mets.
Hit high in the air into center. Blauser goes out. Brown comes in, calls everybody off, and makes the catch. And a snow cone grab it was.
That one hit the heel of the glove and rolled all the way to the web, but Brant Brown kept it under control. Watch it again as he comes in, and you almost see it slip out, but he's able to control it.
So 2 up, 2 down here in the Colorado third. And Ellis Burks looks at strike 1. Where's this guy going to end up?
Good question. That's a very tough center field to play for him in Colorado. And he's had some problems. A couple of balls fell in front of him the other day. When he moved in a step, a ball went over his head. So it's very difficult to find a spot in center field where you can go get him. The one thing you do know in Colorado, your center fielder has to be a speed burner, and he has to be able to get them alley to alley there.
Two balls and a strike. A roller towards short. Blauser handles, flips to first in time. Wood very easy. Top half of the third. 3 up, 3 down. 3-0 Cubs.
This is your captain.
You think she's got a sister?
A participating advertiser for Chicago Cubs baseball on WGN is the Discover Card. Discover Card, the card that pays you back with a cashback bonus award.
Top of the Cub order due to bat. Here in the bottom half of the third inning, a 3 spot by the Cubbies in the first. The difference in the ball game. Brant Brown, a strikeout victim his first time, goes back to work and hacks away foul and out of play. 0-1.
Every time the Cubs talk about a starting pitcher with anybody, the first name they bring up is the man you're looking at, Brant Brown. And that is a high price to pay. Brant's going to be a real good player. He's shown this year that he's gotten a whole lot stronger. And although he's not your prototypical center fielder, he's done a pretty decent job out there.
Off the end of his bat foul, Brown has made only 4 errors.
Well, don't forget it's a new position for him, and it's his third position in as many years, so it takes a while to get comfortable.
1-2. I'm just trying to think back in the memory banks here. The plays that Brown made mistakes on were plays of aggressiveness, and certainly not carelessness. He overran a couple of balls, I think, for 2 of those 4 errors. And that ball is knocked down by Wright. Slides, can't make the play. If he lets it go, they probably get him out. Infield hit.
Brant Brown with surprising speed. Wright got to it, knew he had to hurry, but he couldn't get the handle. This one hit right back to him on a hop, and it bounces far enough away where he's got to make a diving attempt, and nothing doing. So now you have a terrific hit and run situation set up with Brown and Morandini.
Mickey grounded to the shortstop his first time. Brown a good lead, not going. The pitch a strike. 0-1. Well, the Mariners and the Indians are probably waking up right about now. They battled in a little bit of an extra inning game last night.
I was able to watch the end of that game, even though we got in phenomenally late.
17 innings in Seattle. And Seattle had a chance to tie it or win it in their last at bat again. They had the bases loaded, 2 outs, and Rico Rossi struck out. Not quite as poetic as the mighty Casey, but just as effective and disappointing for the fans in Mudville and in Seattle last night. The 0-2 to Morandini is outside a ball and 2 strikes.
To send along birthday greetings to Ken Kerr. His son Steven at the ball game today.
The 1-2 is pop foul and out of play. Let's pause quickly now for station identification from beautiful Wrigley Field.
This is America's #1 sports station, WGN, Chicago.
With Steve Stone, Chip Kerry from the friendly confines. 3-0 is our score. 1-2 to Morandini. With Brown at first, a rocket off the pitcher's arm into right field. Nobody's covering third. Brown's hustling there. The throw is not in time.
We'll have to see if Wright is okay. Nefi Perez thought he had Brant Brown in what would have been a phenomenal tag. Dana DeMuth said, no, you didn't get him. Don Baylor wants to argue the call, and Dave Salati wants to check on Jamey Wright.
The throw was behind Perez, who caught it and tried to apply the tag, and apparently Brown got his foot in before the tag was made. A bang play over at third, and now you have to wonder, how is Wright?
Mickey hits this ball right on the button. It gets the right elbow of Jamey Wright, and then a heads-up play by Vinny Castilla, who's yelling to somebody to cover third. He makes the off-balance throw. Watch the tag. Wow, I think that he got him. I think he was out. And Perez can't believe it. He had put the tag in front of the bag. Watch it again. The throw beats him. Nefi behind him puts the tag in front of the bag. We'll take a better angle at it and see.
Certainly the ball and the glove were there waiting. The question is, did he tag him? Boy, it looks like the ball and the glove were on the infield side of the third base bag, and Brown's foot went to the outfield side.
The only guy who gets the deciding vote is Dana DeMuth, and the Cubs wind up with runners at the corners and nobody out. And apparently Jamey Wright is okay, but the Cubs looking to try to perhaps, if not put it away, make things a lot more comfortable here early in this one.
And Ed Montague, the home plate umpire, walking back to the dish, waving his arm to say, hey, that was not a visit. That was an injury checkup. Here in the bottom of the third inning. Well, Sammy's already hit a home run. First and third, nobody out. A 3-0 Cub lead. And Morandini extending his hit streak, by the way, to 8 games, is at first. Brown is at third. And the sailing smooth for Sosa and the Cubs. Thanks for the line, Arnie. I appreciate it. The pitch, here it is. A breaking ball. High, I guess, 1-0.
Wright is not changing speeds at all, and that's why the Cubs are getting such good swings at him. He's going with a hard slider and a fastball. And with both pretty much on the same plane and close enough to the same speed, doesn't make it that difficult to time him.
1 ball, no strikes. A chopper to the left side. Castillo will flip to second one. They try to turn the double play, and they do. Sosa thought he beat it. A run does score, But Sammy will not get the RBI. That's the penalty for hitting into the double play, and now it's Jim Riggleman's turn to argue. Both Sammy and Dan Radisson reacted with the call at first.
Out at second, no doubt, and Lansing on the relay. And Mark Wegner says yes indeed, he was out. It was a very close bang play at first.
So the argument continues down at first. Brown does score to make it a 4-0 game. But you like to see your manager out there trying to help your superstar out, try to pick up another RBI.
Our ComEd Power profile today is Mark Grace against the Rockies this year, and he's been devastating. 6 hits, 9 at bats, a couple of home runs, 4 driven in. And that's a ComEd Power profile.
1 ball, no strikes to Mark Grace, who walked and scored ahead of Henry's home run into the seats in left. He pulls that ball to the right side. Good play by Helton. Flips to the pitcher in time. And the side is retired. 1 run, 2 hits. Nobody left. After 3, it's a 4-0 Cub game.
Next, Hercules. Saturday at 3 on WGN.
It's 4-0 Cubs after 3. Chip Kerry, Steve Stone from the friendly confines of Wrigley Field. Larry Walker, Dante Bichette, and Vinny Castilla due up for the Rockies. Walker sends a high drive down the left field line. Long run for Henry, nearing the wall. Can't make the grab. It's a foul ball. Walker, having looked down in the line, he thought Henry may have touched that ball in fair ground. So did Gene Glynn, their third base coach.
We'll watch it again as Henry goes over into the corner. Hits off his glove, and it could very well have been a fair ball. But Dana DeMille said no. And that means it wasn't. Because of the judgment call.
No balls and a strike. Inside to even the count at 1-1. The Cubs have come out swinging here at home. And Walker hit by that slider. Here's a board here to open up the 4th inning.
And an interesting letter from Edward Sullivan, who lives in Chicago. As we'll take a look at this one first. It's the slider that just keeps on following Larry Walker, and he can't get out of the way of it, so he catches it below the knee. But Edward Sullivan says Arnie Harris just finished singing "Take Me Out to the Ball Game." He looks a little like Frank Sinatra Jr. How about that? I suggest, Ed, that you get your eyes checked.
Well, I kind of dig the looks like. If it had said sounds like, we would have had a little more problem.
And of course, you, old Chipster, will be taking the mic on Sunday. Now, granted, you won't exactly be like Frankie Avalon today, but Sunday you should do a pretty good job.
I'm rooting for a big case of laryngitis myself. Swung on, pop foul, out of play. I'm going to have some help, but I'm going to keep it a surprise.
Could it be your lovely daughter Summerlin helping you?
Maybe.
Tomorrow, Rick Sutcliffe, Mike Krzyzewski, Andre Dawson, and Miss America Kate Schindel.
Bumped you from the rotation. Bouncing ball to second. That should be 2. And it is. Taylor made double play ball. Well, what I like so far about this game, besides the obvious fact that the Cubs are leading, Stoney, the efficiency with which Kerry Wood is working this ball game.
I don't mind the fact that he hasn't fanned a whole lot of guys. I like the fact that he's working ahead of the hitters. They're attacking the first pitch, and they're not doing much with it. And for Bichette, the 16th double play he's grounded into.
This pitch number 41 unofficially for Wood. And he'll make it against one of the best fastball hitters in the game, Vinny Castilla. And he starts him off with a nasty breaking ball. 1-0.
Another banner year for Castilla. 35 home runs, 97 driven in.
Ooh. Is this guy the best high fastball hitter in the league or in the game?
If he's not the best, he is in the top 2. He can turn around a high fastball with the best of them.
And Wood fires a breaking ball that missed. 2 balls and a strike. Also Castilla, one of the real nice guys in the game. The 2-1. A rocket to short. Blauser handles the big hop and throws him out. 43 pitches for Wood, unofficially through 4, and he's got a 4-0 lead.
It's the most
the friendly Dodge dealer near you.
Well, the Cubs in search of a postseason flag, leading 4-0 here in the bottom of the 4th inning, and it's been the Sammy Henry show with the long ball in tonight's ball game. Sammy's to right, Henry's to left, 2 opposite field blasts, makes it a 4-0 game. That ball hit very hard into the seats, and the count evens at 1 ball, 1 strike. Well, if this were a network game, that's how you and I would be dressed, partner.
Cub hat and tie to match. Yes, indeed, a good look.
2 balls, 1 strike. Three and 1. Same 2 teams tomorrow in game 2 of the 3-game series. Steve Traxel, John Thompson. And Henry draws the leadoff walk. Steve and I will be back at it Sunday here on WGN with the award-winning leadoff man program starting at 1 o'clock for the series finale. It'll be Harry Kerry Day at the ballpark, and that should be an awful lot of fun. A lot of surprises planned for the day, and it's a near sellout, if not a total sellout, for Sunday's game here against the Rockies, and I would venture to say today's game nearly sold out too.
Actually, all 3 games standing room only.
Swing and a miss on the hit and run. The throw by Reed, and plenty of time to get Henry. Jeff did everything he could to protect the base runner, including falling back into the catcher. But Rodriguez is retired for out number 1.
Well, if you don't make any contact, Henry's going to have some problems, and Jeff lost his balance, and Henry is cut down for the 3rd time this year. And so now Jeff will hit with nobody on.
Jeff 1 for his last 22 and is behind 2 strikes, 0-2. Cubs 4, Colorado nothing. We're in the 4th inning. Bouncing ball right side. Lansing gloves, spins 360 and makes a dandy play. 2 down.
That ball flattened out. It hit right where the grass meets the dirt. Looked like it was going to be an easy hopper, but as it flattened out, Lansing had to go to his left, and he turned it into a pretty good play. Blauser bidding for an opposite field hit, and a good effort by Mike Lansing.
Now, we talked to Craig Biggio earlier in the year for Houston. He said this second base, one of the toughest in baseball to play because of that little downslope you have from the dirt cutout to the outfield grass, and Lansing made a fine play on a ball hit right over there for out number 2. And now Tyler Houston, the final hope here in the 4th, perhaps. Hit a mile high in the air. Vinny Castilla at 3rd will battle the wins. He'll put it away, and the side is retired. On to the 5th we go. We're zipping right along. The Cubs enjoy a 4-0 lead.
Chicago Cubs baseball on WGN is brought to you by Hoover. Nobody gets the dirt like Hoover. Nobody.
Are the key to a great double play.
Rolaids, R-O-L-A-I-D-S, spells relief.
You know that grand slam last week?
Kerry Wood cruising along here with a 4-0 lead. He's given up just 3 hits to Colorado. 2 of those came in the 1st inning. And now Todd Helton will be the man that greets him, and he rips a shot into right. But Sammy will be aided by Mother Nature, and he'll put it away. 1 pitch, 1 out.
Apparently these Rockies have gone in with the idea that Kerry's going to try to get ahead with the fastball, and so a lot of them trying to pick out the first pitch.
Well, they've picked a bad day to hit the ball in the air. It's really gusting in off the lake.
And you'll trade 1 pitch, 1 out all day long.
No doubt. Wood's gotten 13 outs on 44 pitches in this game. And now Mike Lansing, the hitter. He blooped a single into shallow center field for his first hit of the day. And he lines out to first for out number 2. Beautiful day at the ballpark. And the Cubs playing the Rockies for 3, then the Diamondbacks for 3 more before the schedule takes a very, very difficult turn. Got to really play well this week to set up the month of August for the Cubs.
Well, I think this is a critical homestand, and you figure the Cubs take 4 or 5 out of 6. Hopefully that will happen, because then it's on the road for 3 toughies: St. Louis, San Francisco, and Houston. We're coming back and entertaining the same 3 teams.
Reed takes a strike. He grounded to second his first time up. The breaking ball misses. A 4-0 game. We are in inning number 5. It's 2-1. Where did the Rockies miscalculate, Steve? Or did they miscalculate at all?
It's hard to really put your finger exactly on what went wrong, because when you're having the kind of year they're having, obviously a lot of things went wrong. They didn't expect Darryl Kyle to be 7-13 with a 5.62 ERA. It's been a very tough year for him after a great year with Houston last year. And they committed $24 million over 3 years to him, expecting he would be their number 1.
Full count now, 3-2.
And Perez and Helton have done a terrific job, but they're replacing a couple guys that did great jobs for them. Walt Weiss, especially Andres Galarraga.
He chased ball 4 and struck out. Wood has his second strikeout of the ball game. He's faced the minimum through the last 3. He's got a 4-0 lead halfway home here at beautiful Wrigley Field.
Carbs and Gatorade. The game will never be the same.
It's 4-0 after 4.5 with Sleepy. This is Chippy here at the friendly confines.
It was Dopey.
Well, I knew that was
Dopey
coming. Awfully easy for you. 2 home runs by the Cubs, Sammy Sosa and Henry Rodriguez, and Kerry Wood's been terrific again.
I think Kerry Wood finding a little something about himself today, and that is you don't have to strike out people to be terribly effective. He's not striking out a whole lot of people, just 2 today, and yet he has these guys eating out of the palm of his hand at this point.
Oh, that's an awfully inviting opening, but I'm not going to take advantage of that. But as you said, this is a very important homestand for the Cubs. Colorado in for 3, Arizona's in for 3. The Cubs have to take advantage of what few remaining home games they do have left.
And the Cubs have been very good in this ballpark with the wind blowing in today. They've got a couple of guys that can consistently go out of the yard, and they did it. It was power once again for the Cubs.
So that's been the story today, as Manny Alexander leads things off and is ahead in the count, 2 balls and a strike. That's downstairs, 3-1. 2 big Cubs fans out in the bleachers today. Jack and Cahill from Naperville enjoying the ball game today. And what a day it is here in the Chicagoland area. Manny bouncing ball up the middle. Good play by Lansing. He's had a disappointing year for Colorado, but he made a terrific play right there for out number 1.
I talked with Todd Helton before the game, and he said that Mike Lansing is starting to get a whole lot better at second base, and his total game has gotten a lot better. He showed it today. He's made a couple of very good plays. This is a tough effort. He makes a good solid throw, and he gets him at first base. So I know Mike has taken a lot of heat in Colorado, but he seems to be coming on as the year has moved along.
So here's Kerry Wood. He's 0 for 1. Swings at the first ball, hits it high in the air into shallow center field. Burks flips the shades down, and Ellis puts it away for out number 2. So Wright has set down 4 straight men. And the top of the order, Brant Brown, will bat against Rockies manager Don Baylor's pitcher, Jamey Wright.
And that's Dave Salati, a former Cub assistant trainer, now the head trainer of the Rockies. He's talking with Don Baylor, probably of the condition of Jamey Wright's elbow, which appears to be okay. Rockies don't really need to lose any more starters.
A bouncing ball to Perez at short. Brown's going to be retired. Man, the easy and quick innings are piling up here at Wrigley Field. Already through 5 innings. 4-0 in favor of the Cubs.
Hey, parental